So as you can see, I'm having to cut the lawn because the man who regularly does it for us is on leave. And while I was cutting the lawn, I was thinking about this thing of miracles. I mean, miracles is what really defined Jesus' life. And in my early days of ministry, there were kind of two main thoughts in a sense. There were those who believed in miracles and preached miracles, and then there were those who said, yes, miracles are in the Bible and they're true. But they were really in the early church, and it was a kind of a marketing plan to get the church started. Anyway, I need to finish the lawn, and when I get back to you, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about miracles. Okay, so I've taken a bit of a shower, cleaned up a little bit, and the lawn's nicely mowed and the pool's reasonably clean. But getting back to this idea of miracles. So recently I've been reading this reading plan on the YouVersion Bible. It's adapted from Eugene Peterson's book called Every Step in Arrival. I've really enjoyed it. And one of the readings was about miracles. And I was so interested to see what he had written about miracles, and that's why I really am doing this vlog today. And this is what he says about miracles. He says, miracle through the biblical tradition is not what we don't understand, but what is done for us that we can't do for ourselves. He says miracle is a function. It's what God does for us or does for us through other people that we can't do for ourselves. I love this idea that a miracle is something that we can't do for ourselves. He goes on to say, he says, the word does not mean that which is beyond our comprehension, but rather that which is beyond our ability. When I look back over our years of ministry for Christine and myself, we've experienced things that I simply know are beyond our ability. Starting back in our Impangeni days, in the early 80s, we started a school, a Christian school. It was a multiracial school, which in the 80s was such a contradiction because there weren't a lot of multiracial schools around at the time. But for what we were doing, it was a completely new adventure. And the reality was at the time, the government were going to shut us down. In fact, they were going to put all us pastors and the headmasters of schools that were about to start, they were going to put us in jail for starting schools that weren't registered. And that's just a whole story of its own. But God intervened, and it was a miracle that we got those schools started. And now, nearly 40 years later, that school continues to do what schools should be doing, and that's educating young people. When I think about our Umhlanga campus and the property that we have there, the provision that came to that property, it was so beyond our ability, and yet God provided. And I could say the same for Riverside, and the same for our Belito campus, which is an exceptional piece of property, and the way in which those things have come about. And then finally, recently, our Cornubia campus. I mean, all of that stuff is just way beyond our ability. But those campuses and those facilities and buildings and pieces of property are nothing compared to the hundreds of lives that we've seen change. When we started running Alpha back sort of almost 25 years ago in homes, we began to see life transformation. People's lives were changed. It was miraculous. You'd have to say, only God. And then as we built our buildings and we would run alphas on a larger scale, the very first alpha we ran in Umhlanga campus, we had 450 people come to that particular alpha. And since every year since then, we've done 1 or 2 alphas in all of our campuses. And it's amazing that something that has been around for almost 30 years is still making a difference in the lives of people today. And then of course, there are the thousands of people who gather each weekend in our churches. People whose lives have been touched and transformed, marriages have been healed, people who got counseled through our counseling ministry, who would never get access to counseling if they had to pay somewhere to get that quality of Christian counseling. Then we see what God has done through our missions and justice, and the people that we've been able to feed, the people that we've been able to train, empower. I mean, all of that stuff is just simply way beyond our ability. And so for me, as I look back over these years, it really has been a constant stream of miracles. As you look back and you think about the things that have happened to you, either through people or just through God's provision, that was simply beyond your ability. And as you think about, you know that God has done miracles for you. So this is what I'd love you to do. I'd love you to go get your phone and to go to the camera part of it and go to a video and then do a selfie video of yourself where you share your miracle by saying, my miracle is, and then just take 30 seconds to share what your miracle is. And I'd love you to just share that with me. And once you've done that, you would send it to me, you would WhatsApp it to me on the number of 079 922 90 90448. Would you do that? And I'd love to hear from you. That number again is 079 922 9048. Stick it on Instagram with the hashtag MarkBeingHuman. And then I'd love to share some of those stories online on my website and on my YouTube channel, and see that we can make a difference by sharing our story of our miracles with others. Hey, if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd love you to do so. If you haven't liked me on my Public Persons Facebook page, please go ahead and do so. And you can always follow me on Instagram as well, MarkBeingHuman. Hey, I've loved having this time with you. I'd love to hear from you. Remember to do that selfie, send it to me on WhatsApp, and I'll be able to share your story with other people as well. So thanks so much for watching. God bless you, and have a great day.